Expectations this year is to build off of last year. Last year I thought we had some huge momentum at the end of the year. The team really progressed. We were coming in from the previous season, where the team had one of the highest yields in yellow and red cards in the conference. And this last year we finished next to last in yellows and red cards. So the team developed a tremendous amount of discipline, which in return changed games that the previous year would have been 3 or 4 to 0 to 1-goal games and draws. And you look at our last 3 games of the season, we played 3 of the top teams in the conference, and then we earned a draw in all of them, and all of those teams came back from behind to get the draw against us. So I really was pleased with the progress that the boys made mentally, and that translated to also tactical improvements on the field and better relationships between the players. In the end, we finished the season off with a bang last year with a huge game at HT, where all the chances that we missed in previous games, it seems like, went in the back of the goal in that game, which was, we ended on a high note, and it was really a good culmination of the guys' efforts. So really excited to see how we come in, especially with a new recruiting class coming in to help improve the team and how those players gel together. I think we're in a good position to continue to build upon the success that we earned last year. Yeah, so first and foremost, all the players have been it's been stressed to them that everybody needs to take a part in leadership. If you're relying on 1 or 2 players to lead you, and always they are going to have to solve the problem on the field. It's going to be really hard to be successful when you have 11 players on the field. They all need to have a tangible part in that, and that has come to fruition. Now, with that said, Harry Acklam has showed up as a very highly communicative player on the field. Timmy Talabi has still continued on to be a very communicative and responsible player that's proactive with the team, takes charge in the right moments. Again, Matt Bonda as well. So with the emergence of those 3, we went from 2 captains to now potentially 3. There's also other players that are leaders in that group that I can't forget about. I think Chris Cepeda will be returning to go into a master's program this year. Last year, he found himself into a starting role. It was late in the year, but he had worked his butt off really hard, came in, he brought a tremendous amount of positive energy that everyone could see. And that, when we look at how we went in and approached the HT game, there was a definite benefit and there was a definite consequence of what he brought to the field. Sure, well, we brought in some good players already here at the end in the spring. So Andres Rocha, we brought in 2 strikers between him and Thiago Fernandez. So we have very high expectations for them. But again, it's a team sport. So it is not enough about what they do. It's about what they can do in the confines of the team. I think we have an advantage of having them train with our players for a good season, good semester. So that puts us a little bit ahead versus if they were just coming in, from scratch. But we also have a host of players. We picked up a good goalkeeper here over the summer, so we feel very good about Adrian Alvarez's potential to put pressure within a group of 3 goalkeepers instead of only having 2. I think it's much more advantageous for any team to have 3 goalkeepers versus 2, and the 1 and 2 can there's nobody in that mix to try to pressure them. So we definitely have a good group there that is really going to pressure themselves to see who's going to emerge as number 1 and number 2. We have a host of other transfers that are coming in here late. I've got another transfer coming in late right now that we're working on. It's going to be really exciting, but we have to get them all together, right? And see, first and foremost, everyone that comes in has to only add to the positive climate that we've created, or they'll find themselves, regardless of talent, out of the picture. Gosh, I mean, the conference has changed so much since 2007, where I would say it used to be a 3 and 4 team race conference. Right now it's 6, 7 deep, and you don't know, which team could get hot and have finished 6th in the regular season and probably go win the conference tournament. And I say that from the standpoint of we finished 9th and didn't make the tournament. but yet we had teams that were in the top 3 who were having to come back and tie us. You know, in a conference tournament, anything happens. So the fact that we can compete, I think it just highlights not just about us, but it highlights the strength of the conference and the closeness of the levels of play between the top 8 and 9 teams now in our conference. And like I said, we used to talk about 3 or 4, and now we're talking about 8 or 9 teams, and what separates winning or losing are very small margins of talent and very small margins of tactical changes, very small margins when it comes down to the attitude of the players and their approach to the game. You know, this last year we finished with a 3.2 GPA, I believe, 3.1 or 3.2, somewhere very in between there. Obviously, it's something that we want to continue to build upon. To me, that's a standard. It's you know, definitely something that we don't want to see ourselves underneath at any point in time, underneath a 3.0 as a team. The players that come into into our culture need to recognize that, hey, traveling on the road is part of it. Study hall is part of it. If those things are, I would rather not have a player come here if they're not going to, if they don't see themselves playing collegiately for 4 years here, right, and earning a degree here, because in the end it needs to culminate with the degree. Players that, if their goal is to play professional, I have no issue with that, but you know, either go after college and focus all your time on the college, or you know, give it your best shot now, right? But don't come here and you're putting a negative reflection upon on your teammates here, right? And so that'll be the message that we'll convey to the players in preseason. And I think with the leadership we have right now, we have a heavy junior class on this team, which is really exciting because we went from 2 years ago with Art and Chapa having a really young group to now we had a little bit of experience last year, but it was like a young team that was still trying to figure out who they were, their identity. And now I look at these guys and I'm like, they know who they are now. Now it's, can they keep that type of momentum going? Can they keep the positive attitude when you mix in the dynamics of a different group of players that are going to be part of that mix this year? And if all of those things can continue to steamroll, we're going to be in the mix this year. You know, I don't know where we'll finish up because it really comes down to, like I said, the small margins and changes between each and every program. First and foremost, we're going to put tents up in all the bleachers, and we're going to have a couple tents on the sideline as well. So if you bring a lawn chair, there'll be some space there that's shaded for you to be in. First and foremost, we want it to be a spectator-friendly environment. Can't say enough about the improvement that our team in this conference has made when it comes down to not using profanity on the field. Can't say that someone might slip up and make a mistake, but they will be dealt with when they do so. But I can say when you look and say out of 14 teams, we were number 13 in the lowest numbers of yellows and red cards. That says a lot about the discipline of the players on the field and how they respond to adversity. And you're going to see that. You're going to see a team that's willing to work even when it's hot. We're going to be tactical about when we work and how we work to try to pace ourselves through games. But I think we've got a lot of exciting players, and it's an exciting mix to bring these two groups together. One, a rising and upcoming successful team. Two, an incoming group of successful players that have the potential to build this culture into an even better culture than what it is now.